There had been whispers all morning someone new was set to testify. Not an accuser, not a whistleblower, a father, a partner. A voice long silenced. When Al B. Shore walked into that courtroom, he didn't carry swagger, he carried weight. A black suit, no jewelry, eyes low. In his hand, a worn letter folded twice, edges frayed like it had been waiting for this moment. Diddy didn't flinch when he saw him, but everyone else did, because everyone knew who Kim Porter was, and now, her ex was about to speak. He didn't ask for water. Didn't shift in his seat. He leaned toward the mic and said quietly, "I've waited a long time for this." The courtroom stilled. "I'm not here to throw dirt," he said. "I'm here to speak for someone who can't." Then he placed the letter on the table. "This is from Kim," he said. "Written in 2006. She gave it to me before she moved back in with Sean, told me to hold it in case, something ever happened." He opened it. Kim's words filled the room. First it was business, then charm, then control. She talked about being isolated, about friends disappearing, trips turning into PR plays. One line struck like thunder. "He says I'm nothing without him, that I owe him everything. But what about my name? My voice, my soul?" Al's voice cracked. The courtroom held its breath. The judge allowed it. This wasn't hearsay, it was testimony. And Al delivered it like a eulogy. He spoke of 3 times. Kim tried to leave. In 2004, she packed her bags. In 2006, she booked a hotel under another name, but Diddy found her within hours. The last time was in 2018, and then Al said it. "She told me she didn't feel safe." The room shifted. The prosecution leaned in. "Did she say she was being harmed?" "No," Al replied, "but she said she was being watched, controlled, and things were happening to people around her. People she trusted." Then came the line that made the gallery sit upright. "If anything ever happens to me," she said, "people should start asking questions." Because Kim Porter didn't die in a crash. She died. Suddenly. At home. No warning. No answers. Al continued. He said she once told him about a storage unit in LA, photos, contracts, recordings. She told him, "If anything happens, find it." But 3 days after her death, it was emptied, keycards wiped, footage gone. "A friend warned me," Al added. "Told me I was being watched. Told me to let sleeping dogs lie." But he didn't, because Quincy, the son he shared with Kim, kept asking questions. Al spoke of late-night calls, voicemails that stopped, and a final call, 2 days before she died, that felt like goodbye. She told him she was meeting Puff's team. Something about her estate, Wright's legacy. That meeting never happened. But 48 hours later, Kim was gone. No accusations of murder. But Al was clear. People are scared to name what this is. I'm not. I think Kim was silenced. Maybe not by a hand, but by a system. She tried to start her own label. Tried to write a book. Puff told her not to. Said it would dredge up the past. But those things were real, Al said. And she was ready to speak. He looked to the jury. After Kim died, people got quiet. Every time someone asked questions, they got shut down. And then came something no one expected. A draft Instagram post from Quincy, never published. It began, "Dear Mom, I don't believe you just died." It described a cold call at 2 a.m., a voice that said simply, "She's gone." No emotion, no explanation. Al said Quincy asked him, "Were they trying to scare me?" The prosecution asked if Quincy believed there was foul play. Al didn't flinch. "Yes, he did, and I do too." Then came the final blow. A letter, emailed to Kim's attorney, dated 10 days before she died. "If anything happens to me, make sure Quincy knows I loved him, and that I was trying to leave." She wrote about being followed, about a shadow, presence in her home. She didn't name Diddy, but she said, "I know who I'm dealing with, and they don't let go easy." Al's hands shook, his voice low. "I failed her. I should have done more." The prosecution asked, "What do you believe happened to Kim Porter?" Al looked up calm, clear. "I believe she was silenced. I believe it was strategic, and I believe the people responsible are watching from this room." He spoke of the funeral, how he wasn't invited, how everything was tied up so fast, it didn't feel real. The sealed report, the missing toxicology, and then, the final quote, from Kim, "It's not about what they did to MITs, what they think they can keep doing." And then came the final question. If Kim Porter were alive today, what would she say to this court? Al didn't blink. She'd say she tried. She gave the best years of her life to people who thought they owned her, and when she tried to leave, they shut the door. He looked down, then back up. I'm just here so the door doesn't stay shut.